Operation Monster Force. Oh no, Shaggy. No, if I had Scooby-Doo, I would have done that for real. But as a skip, but I don't, so it's not as much fun. Anywho, back again with another Operation Monster Force. I keep saying I'm done with this line, and you know I didn't say, well, I did say I want this one. Okay, so let's take a look at these real quick. You know, you got your hand options. These are all typical. I think this guy has the one that is pointing, and I can't find the pointing hand. There's a pointing hand. You got a pointing hand, and then all the other options. He's got a case, and it is the tubes that have the thing. Is, you know, it's the Alcatraz movie with Sean Connery and Nick Cage. We all know what it is. Yeah. Anyway, that movie, and this gun, which I think kind of sucks, but okay. There's an effect somewhere. And then, you know, the figure. The figure's fun. I mean, brain guy in a jar. Yeah, it's fun. There's so many sci-fi references to that. It is unique. I like it. I can't help it. I like it. I do like it. You know, I call him Dr. Brain Guy. I know it's captioning or something like that. I just call him Dr. Brain Guy because that's who he is Dr. Brain Guy. I mean, to me anyway. The eraser, I was really surprised. I didn't expect so much color on the shirt, on the vest, but it's there. A lot more details. I like the camo. He has another one of these stupid guns. The Inviso head, which is the one I'm probably going to use on him. I like this little detail of his arms. His forearms are clear, and then if you want, you do have bandages for those, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to leave them like that. You have invisible hands, which is awesome. I should say translucent, but you know what I mean. And you got options to fit in with a boring ass shoulder strap, not shoulder, fucking shit. Shoulder holster. Well, yeah, I was right. I think that's much less exciting than that. Goggles, some extra things you can put his knife on. I probably will do that. And pistols. And extra, should I piss you guys off? Clips. I've heard people get really pissed off when people say clips, even though that was a big thing in Hollywood back in the 80s. They would call them clips, and like, no, they're magazines. Well, they don't look like Sports Illustrated to me. But anyway. So I'm not much of a toy reviewer because, let's just face it, there's too many of those. But what I am is a lover of toys. And this is a line I love and I hate. I love it because it's weird and different. Monsters, fighting monsters. Yeah, that's cool. You know. And, you know, you can do all kinds of weird stuff with it, like the Invisible Man as an assassin. A guy with a brain in a jar. Frankenstein over there. The Donner Party. You got some pretty good things going on. I hate it because there's a lot of repetition. A lot of repetition. I mean, people have criticized Valaverse for the Praetorians. At least each and every one of those robots have a very specific purpose. And that's the most he's done as far as repaints. I mean, straight up repaints. And even then, they're not always straight up repaints because they always repurpose and redo stuff so that it is different. I mean, it's not the same thing. It's not the same release. With this line, though, I mean, Yeah, this is the same basic gear that we got with Delta Red and Deacon Valley housing. The removable pouches help, but not a lot. This one is from the Sleepwalkers with a longer coat. At least he has a longer coat, so that's not as obvious. And you know, a brain head is good, but you know, the first wave coming out straight repaints with the Delta Troopers and the Sleepwalkers, I was like, God, spread that out. Spread that out, I would have been okay with it. Putting it all in one wave. People really mistake what I say for that, because they always really misinterpret it as, you know, I'm getting mad at reuse. No, I'm getting mad at straight up repaints in one wave. Check your privilege, people. Come on. And, you know, that kind of repetition bothers me. I mean, if they had spread out all those army builders with the Sleepwalkers and the Delta Reds over 3 waves, I would have had no problem with that. I would have said that's smart. Get reuse out of your mold. Very smart. Doing it in one wave is just like, oh my God. And, you know, I'm trying to think of how to say this nicely. That fucking price is too much. Especially as I watch some companies like Valiverse lower prices. Oh, but they're getting ready to shut the door, so, you know, there's that. I mean, seriously. $27, you get almost as much as you get with, I mean, this guy has a very low amount of accessories, you know. He's got hands, a gun, and a case, and the things in the case. That's not a lot. You know, that's a little bit more classified, yeah, I'll give you that one, but not a lot when you compare it to Valiverse. Especially now that we're getting wired capes on Valiverse too. And I mean, and you know, again, this, I like this. I like the idea. This is what troubles me, is I like the idea. But $40? I mean, come on. That's, And I'm not sure I cannot explain to you why I bent on these. I shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have. I really should have stuck to my guns. Because you know, that's the other thing. When I buy something and I know I'm overpaying, and I just swallow it and say, okay, I'm just going to overpay because I want it, I feel really bad afterwards. And that's the way I feel now with these two. I feel really bad because it's not that there's anything wrong with the figures. It's just, what am I doing? I don't have nostalgia for this IP. I want new things. That's a given. This is kind of new. I mean, that is true. But I don't see me buying a whole lot of these, especially not army builds. $40 for an army builder is too much to army build. That's ridiculous. I mean, $32 back when I started on Action Force for the Wasp Raiders. Not the Wasp Raiders, I'm sorry. The Swarm Troopers. And then you get paid more for the gear pack to soup them up. You know, at least there was an option there. You didn't have to buy the gear pack. I mean, you know, if you wanted to do it super duper, yeah, you get the gear pack. Then, woo, okay. If you just wanted a normal everyday Swarm Trooper on the ground, you could just get them without the backpack. I don't think they look as good without the backpack, but, you know. And you had extra weapons and options for your troops, too. You didn't have to outfit them all with the Vector. So, I don't know. I mean, overall, I like the way Bobby handled it better, personally. I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy any more of these, you know, but, you know, by the way, if you're wondering, I'm looking at the paint here, because I know on some I saw that the paint on the pockets was really off a bit. I don't see anything. I'm getting it out of light too. My lighting situation I need to fix, because I only have 2 lights now. I need 3. You know. But this one, I was really surprised. For some reason, I thought his would have had less color. I have zero interest in the translucent version of this. I actually think that's kind of... I mean, I can understand why you'd want it, but I really think that's kind of... Especially since it's $40, and I think it doesn't come with half this stuff. So it's like even worse, and it doesn't even have a package. I mean, I'm blaming some of the cost on the packaging because they went fancy and got magnets in the packaging, but... you know, I'm really trying really hard not to really stick it to Monster Force. At the same time, the prices are just, no. You can't go that high with the prices and expect people to be happy. You know, again, I would probably buy more if they were still $35. That was my limit right there. You know, I can't say I won't buy any more. I definitely wanted these. I wanted these from the beginning. You know, at this point, I have the ones I really wanted from the beginning. So, there's that. I'm no way in hell paying $40 for that Dracula. Fuck that. Just get a couple of hands. Fuck that bullshit. Right in the ass. No way. At least you get stuff with these. So, you know, that helps soften the blow, but it doesn't cure it. I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to put some clear hands on him. I just think that would be cool. Just clear hands and clear head and grasping the guns, which is clear hands. I just think that would be awesome. Yeah, I don't plan to do too much with him. You know, just put his... This is the stiffest figure I've had in Monster Force. I am going to have to run a hairdryer on him to loosen up his joints. That's almost wave 1 Valiverse level. That's the wildest thing I ever saw. And yeah, so I'm just gonna do that and not really worry too much about it. Again, you know, I've looked at the future of the toy line. I mean, these are just fun, you know. And that's the other thing. These guys aren't going to be what they are. I mean, they're going to be like monstrous soldiers, yeah, but they're not going to be part of the Monsterverse storyline, whatever that is, because it's kind of vague, really. I mean, you know, we have the setup. Well, at least we do have the setup. You know, you got the Forgotten King fighting Dracula. So you have that setup. But past that, it kind of gets weird because the zombies are on the mummy's side or on the king's side for whatever reason. It's kind of, you know, I don't know. Because I thought the whole point was that the vampires couldn't be mind controlled, but anyway. But so with the zombies, it would seem, you know, yeah, plus the zombies hold shooting guns, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's possible, but yes, that's what turned me off to those. You know, there's some weird ones in there that people are going gaga over. Halloween Boy, people love that one. I don't. I look at it and I go, yeah. And you know, the big Sasquatch with the big gun looks alright, but I don't want to pay $89 for that thing. You know, I'll stay back over here with a few little monsters there. I'm a bit of a cheapskate, I realize, but that's what happens. Anyway, my overall thoughts on this line is, I think you bring the price down a little bit. You got it. It's golden. I know when this line came out, there were some people saying this was going to kill Valiverse. I don't think it is. It seems to be, honestly, the sense I'm getting is it's calming down a lot, especially with that price tag. That price tag kind of killed the momentum. I might be wrong, but I feel like I had a lot easier time grabbing these two and the Donner Party than I did Forgotten King and the ones I did get. It does look like they've restocked, so there's that as well. So maybe they learned their lesson about not ordering enough. I don't know. I'm guessing. That's me, I don't know. I'm saying a lot in this video. I don't mean to. So yeah, this is a line I could really, really love if it wasn't for the price tag. A lot of people don't care, and that's your business. I'm just constantly saying, you get this, you get almost this figure. A good bit in between these two from Valivers for $27.99. That's almost $12 cheap. What the hell? Okay, some people just don't care about price. I think it's trying to be a rich flex, and guys, it kind of doesn't work that way. It doesn't look, I know you think it looks that way, but it doesn't. It actually looks like, you're a fool and you're parting with your money, which is fine. I mean, you can do that. That's your business. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but at the same time, it's kind of like, is it really showing off that you mismanagement? What do I know? I know I just buy what I like. And yeah, do I like these? Yes, I do. Do I love them? I wouldn't say that. Am I going to buy more? I don't know. I thought I was done, and then I just caved. But the longer it goes, the less I'm going to be interested, so we'll see. I know one thing was that this guy only had this originally, and I was like, fuck that bullshit. At least I gave him a case with the rock accessory, so yeah, at least that's fun. But I don't see this line holding my attention much longer. I don't know, it's a nifty idea, but the price tag and again the repetitiveness, it's kind of like, that combination's not going to work for me too long. Yeah, but they are filling a certain gap there, because they got that Hooded Cobra Commander and then the red shadows that are not red shadows but look like red shadows, and that stuff coming out. So some people grab to that. I don't know. I don't know how much further you can go with this, though. I really don't. At least in keeping my interest. We'll see. But that's a little talk about Monster Force, and yeah, I added 2 more to the collection, so what? Okay, well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Help the channel grow. I mean, you could give the channel a Hummer, but it's not going to help much. Alright, take care, have a good day.